Let's talk about Bad Bunny's halftime performance at the NFL Super Bowl last night, which I think is definitely one of the best halftime performances we've had in recent memory. And I've really been liking the direction that the halftime performances have been going on. And of course, this was a big one. There was a lot of turmoil leading up to this halftime performance ever since it was announced for months and all of that, even leading to a whatever the hell that was they were doing for another halftime performance. I'll leave it at that. I've seen clips of it and oh my God. But let's talk about the halftime performance, which pretty much has set the tone of where do we go from here in 2026. And if you've been living under a rock or all of that, you do know that the political turmoil here has definitely reached some boiling points. And Bad Bunny's performance was definitely one that everybody had their eyes set on. Even people who said they weren't going to watch it ended up watching it. And that just goes to show what kind of leader we have. But let's get on with the halftime performance that I think truly was a great tone. And I know a lot of people felt some way about it, and we'll talk about that as well. Some people felt there wasn't enough done. Some people felt it was too much. And it's been an interesting back and forth conversation we've seen. And that's the important thing about it. It starts conversation and we get more closer to the right solution, because I don't think this was going to be the end all be all and that this was going to really fix everything. I don't think even Bad Bunny thought that. This is definitely the start of the conversation of how do we move forward from everything that's been going on for the last couple of years. So first and foremost, the whole presentation of it was definitely a big ode, a big sort of celebration of Puerto Rico, as well as other Latin American countries from Mexico, Peru, Colombia, all of those as well, but just a celebration of the Americas, which also of course includes the United States of America. And I really do love the portion of the halftime show when he said, "God bless America." And by that, he doesn't just mean the United States. He says he starts naming all of the other Latin American countries, which I think is true. I think we've reached such a weird position where we have become, as people in the United States, isolated from the world in a way that we see individualism first as well for the country, which has always been a bad thing. I think individualism, just being so hyper-focused, is really the downfall of any society, because when you really start to isolate yourself and barricade yourself and destroy community and all of that, you really start to be weak because you don't have your allies, your friends, all of that. You need community. Even the United States of America needs community. And the way that our leaders have sort of positioned us away from all of the communities and bridges we've built has definitely been a bad thing. And so I think I love this message of unity that's given at the end, that the Americas as a whole are definitely a whole and should continue to be that. It is not just the United States of America, it is North, South America, Central America, and every country inside is America. But also the showcase of sugar canes and all of that throughout, which of course are a resource that has been exploited in Puerto Rico by the United States that came to invade back in the day, have continued to destroy the island in of itself. We've seen that many times throughout these last couple of years, with a lot of wealthy people moving to Puerto Rico and sort of trying to colonize it in a way. And that, I think, is why it was so important to have Ricky Martin singing that song, of course, that the Hawaii song that Bad Bunny has, because they don't want what happened to Hawaii to ultimately happen to Puerto Rico and have their whole culture be taken from them. We also see throughout the halftime performance the Latin businesses throughout, and apparently these are actual Latin businesses that are in Puerto Rico, Los Angeles, New York, and other places throughout the United States and America. And these are businesses that show how Latin American people continue to push forward, to thrive, to want to make a better place for them, their future generations, and all of that. And just the way that they will continue to prosper and work hard towards what they're trying to do. Not everybody's a criminal. But we also have moments throughout here where it puts a mirror at the Latin community as well, with machismo and all of that, as well as using the song Yo Perreo Sola. I think that I've always liked Bad Bunny, how he is able to speak up for the community, but he's also able to speak to the community about the problems that the Latin community faces throughout as well, with machismo and all of these other things that go about. There's also little funny nods here and there, as we know, with the child sleeping on the chairs during the wedding ceremony. I think any of us who have gone to these parties, I myself Mexican, and growing up and all of that, we've always seen the kid that's just sleeping on the chairs, or many kids because the party's gone on too long, or they're just like anywhere sleeping because they're just tired and the party's still going. So I thought that was a fun little nod here. I think also the whole apagón thing was such a big thing in Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria came through and devastated the whole island. And there were many times when people in Puerto Rico, even to this day, aren't able to have electricity for a long time, or the electricity just goes out. But there is still this sort of like colonialism that's going on there, where people are still coming and taking the resources from the people that were born there, that have generations there, and they're trying to take it all for themselves now. And I really do love Bad Bunny standing up for his roots and all of that. I know a lot of people have been talking about the whole Salsa Gaga situation here and would have loved to see another Latin artist. I think we got Ricky Martin for sure, and we saw some of the other Latin artists in the Casita, which of course Karol G, also Pedro Pascal. We also had Cardi B in there, Young Miko as well, and I thought that that was a cool touch as well, to have these very prominent Latin artists, not just in music and all of that, that have really transcended and I think made the playing field better for future artists to come. But I do think that we definitely could have gotten at least one more Latin artist on that stage with Bad Bunny, but I really do not think that Lady Gaga felt out of place. The only thing that felt out of place in that whole situation was the Alex Earl pop-up there, which I just don't understand still. I think everybody's baffled by that choice. But I think Gaga has definitely been an artist that has continued to support and show up for people, and that really did elevate the performance a little bit. And I do think that this was definitely a bit of the middle ground that Bad Bunny sort of had to find. I don't think he could have been as politically abrasive as people wanted him to be, and they were expecting some show-stopping moment where he was going to call out Donald Trump and all of this. It definitely was not going to go that way, but I think him seizing the opportunity and making sure that he got his point across without, of course, the network pulling the performance and all of that was the best way he did it here, because it still showed a lot of unity, a lot of love over hate and things like that, and sort of taking the higher ground, which of course is a thing that works. And I know a lot of people feel that doesn't work anymore, but I think with Bad Bunny, it is definitely the right approach. He had, I believe, over 120 million views from this performance. I believe it's like one of the top viewed performances of all time for the Super Bowl. So the message would spread. He's showcasing that we don't stoop down to their level, and you should definitely take a step back and look at who is the aggressor, especially today. Those social posts are definitely interesting, and see who is trying to just make a living, be hardworking, and just showcase that this is what the Americas are about, because it's all of America, north, south, central. And I think that it is a strong message. It was sent clearly, and I hope that we definitely move somewhere better from here. Great performance, beautiful visuals, and amazing, amazing halftime performance. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on it down below. Just want to get my points across to you. I think that we definitely got it. And, you know, if this offends you or anything like that, moment, sit down, think to yourself, why does this offend me? Who am I as a person? There's your answer. I think it's an amazing opportunity to ask questions, to have conversations, and to move forward from an administration that just fuels off of hate and fear. So our goal is 50,000 subscribers. We talk movies, music, all of that. The arts are political. They'll always be political. We're going to talk about it. So anyways, I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.